Welcome back to another week of Seeking Christ Christian News Weekly. This week we have a few topics. We'll go over them. I'll try to get to the Yoo-Hoo College, but that one didn't come out too well, so we'll see how it goes. Our first topic is California megachurch pastor takes own life after dealing with mental health challenges. California megachurch pastor Jim Howard committed suicide last week after a long battle with mental illness. Howard was the lead pastor in the Valencia campus of the 7,000-member Real Life Church. Paramedics with the Los Angeles County Fire Department were dispatched to Howard's home after a report of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It is with a heavy heart that I can confirm we suffered a tragic loss on our church staff this week. On Wednesday, January 23rd, 2019, Jim Howard, a beloved pastor here at RLC, took his own life. RLC lead pastor Rusty George wrote in a Facebook post. As all of us who knew Jim can attest, he was a wonderful man with a deep love for Jesus and a passion for sharing the grace of God with anyone he met. He was also a tornado of energy, always looking for new challenges and opportunities to minister to others, George continued. Sadly, Jim suffered in private with mental health challenges, some of which he bravely discussed in public, and it was wrestling with some personal issues in recent months. This week, he made a tragic decision to end his pain. He said church officials say he will be deeply missed by his family, friends, the RLC family, and all those who were blessed to know him. So let's send out prayers to Jim Howard's family on their loss, as well as kind of trying to decipher what kind of situation this is. I mean, a pastor knowing the Bible, taking his life, that's like the opposite of what you actually preach. It's an opposite of what your belief system is. The demons he was struggling, I just wish there was a opportunity for more people to be able to reach out to him and help him through that. But we have lost a man of God in Jim Howard, who was struggling with some demons. And it's a sad story that a church loses somebody that was striving for the community and for God. We see a lot of churches out there that just pastors that are just leading their churches astray. Next topic is the left tries to ban Christianity in Texas. Sudden spat of bills exalts LGBTQ ideology over rights of Christians. We are seeing more and more persecution here in America through LGBTQ, as well as the left, and so many other areas. We're getting hit by all sides. A possible showdown over religious freedom is coming to the Lone Star State where, as one conservative puts it, the left is trying to ban Christianity in Texas. Some conservative Texas pastors are speaking out against upcoming state bills that would add sexual orientation and gender identity to Texas discrimination laws. LGBTQ advocates say they'll enhance the rights of gay Texans. Texas bills, including the H series, I don't know the numbers, all which would prohibit the discrimination of sexual orientation or gender identity by businesses, including Christian-owned ones. Previously, Christian businesses have claimed that they have the right to refuse service based on their religious beliefs. Two other bills are also being considered, which would require Christian counselors to affirm transgenderism and would force doctors to create birth certificates retroactively for patrons who gender transition. So we're back to that whole thing. We had an issue with it. It started to clear up, but LGBTQ is really pushing it upon just about every state. So we really gotta look at who we are voting in the states, who we are doing things with, and make sure that, I'll be honest, right now the Democrats are looking more and more ugly when it comes to abortions, when it comes to gay rights, when it breaks it all down. However, I'm not going to say Democrats in a whole, because there are many Democrats that are opposing this, which makes me think, why are you a Democrat? If that's what the Democrat Foundation is standing on, then how can you be a part of that party? Um, I think these people are blessed to be in there because they are trying to change that platform. How long will it take? I don't know. So things that we really need to look at as American citizens on when and how we vote during elections. Do we continue all this, or do we try to fight back? I'm sorry. I think I left that picture up for you guys, didn't I? Well, let's go into the next one anyway. This one, surviving R. Kelly. Will the church embrace the accused singer now? Grammy Award-winning R&B star R. Kelly has had multiple allegations against him since the 90s. But despite the pedophilia and sex claims, some in the church embraced the singer and his gospel music. Early this month, Lifetime aired a 6-part documentary series titled Surviving R. Kelly, a series detailing sexual abuse and misconduct allegations against the singer. The documentary led to condemnations against Kelly and the mainstream media. The hashtag Mute R. Kelly movement took off, and artists such as Lady Gaga and Nick Cannon apologized for their musical collaborations with him. Collaborations. Why couldn't I get that? Anyway, I seen a thing. I think it was on Facebook. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was on a news thing. But I'm in so many different areas. But I seen a video of his daughter and his ex-wife commenting on this film, Surviving R. Kelly. And the allegations seem to be true from their aspect. And we kind of understand that it is true. But the Christian Post wanted to see where all this leaves Kelly and his longtime passive relationship with the church. The gospel music community has been known to love and support Kelly for his songs such as I Believe I Can Fly, Whitney Houston's I Look to You, Marvin Sapp's Listen, and his collaboration with Kirkland Frank on a new version of Lean on Me. According to commentator Candace Benbow, Kelly's gospel songs are commonplace in black congregations, and she thinks the church has turned a blind eye to his alleged crimes. What do you think about R. Kelly and the church? I believe a situation like this goes two ways. I believe R. Kelly has some issues that he needs to get cleaned up. He has an addiction that needs to be won over. Does he get banned from the church? I don't know. If he was attending a church of mine, I think I would have to really go through a lot of counseling with this man. I think if he to keep him into the congregation would be a lot of counseling, a lot of support, and a lot of other things. The church is not a place for just saints. It's a hospital for the broken. And we're in order to reach out to R. Kelly and make this happen with R. Kelly, then the church needs to kind of embrace that. Just like if LGBTQ or transgender person walks into your church, you can't really ban them because you're pushing away somebody that may start realizing they're wrong and coming to church for this. However, R. Kelly's been going to the church for a long period of time. I mean, his allegations go all the way back to 1990. So the church isn't helping. the church isn't transitioning him. But the one thing that we can say is until we get pretty deep in some counseling and stuff, R. Kelly would not be doing worship. R. Kelly would be sitting as just any other person, getting counseling and support, and we will monitor how he progresses. And I think that would be the fair deal for R. Kelly. Anyway, let's go back to the topics. 20 killed, 11 wounded, and ISIS bombing at Catholic Cathedral. A Roman Catholic cathedral was struck by horror and tragedy during Sunday Mass this weekend, when 2 bombs exploded, killing at least 20 people and wounding over 100. This happened in the Philippines. Jolo Cathedral, following the first explosion. About 1 minute after the first explosion, military personnel and police officers began to rush into the building when a second bomb located near the church entrance went off. They were really setting this one up. According to police reports, at least 20 people were killed in the blast. 111 were wounded. Of the 20 dead were 15 civilians and 5 were military troops. Of those wounded, the AP reports that 17 troops, 2 police officers, 2 Coast Guard members, and 90 civilians were injured. Prayers go out over there. We in America are not facing persecution at the level as overseas is. So please keep those Christians overseas in prayer. And we in America have an opportunity to change things. For one, we need a revival in the church. For 2, we need to really think about things when election time comes up. And for 3, we need to unite together as one body in Christ. We need to do more missionary work. We need to spread this gospel out. We need to reach out to these areas that are just crawling with this filth. And we need to start changing hearts. Okay, so that's that one. Let's get ready to move on. We have 7 states already allow abortion up to birth, not just New York. There's a big thing that came on about New York. Right after that, Virginia was popping up with the third trimester abortion. But if we really look into it, New York isn't the only state that allows abortion up to birth. Before New York lawmakers voted last Tuesday to remove gestational limits on abortion, 7 states and Washington, D.C. already had laws allowing third trimester abortions. Similarly, all states that have laws banning late-term abortions still allow exceptions under certain circumstances, as noted by the Guttmacher Institute, whatever that is, an organization that advocates for the abortion rights worldwide. Such exemptions include babies with physical abnormalities and the health of the mother, which can include mental health, according to pro-life group Operation Rescue. The 7, now 8 states that have no gestational limits on abortion are Alaska, Colorado, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, and Vermont, along with Washington, D.C. I don't believe that you still have a right, even though the baby may come out with a deformity, or because the mother's mental health. I believe if the mother has a mental health issue, then the child should be thought about through court and the state whether the mother is reasonable enough to care for the child. If not, then I believe the child should be put into adoption. But claiming a life when you're not fully sure if that child's coming out with a mental health issue as the mother did, or was, or had, or whatever. It just, we cannot claim who we deliver and who we don't, who we keep and who we just want to throw in the trash. This is not right. This is not acceptable. This is not. This is ridiculous. So, next one is Christianity in Silicon Valley meet the movement transforming the San Francisco Bay Area with Christ. This one's going to be a little long because I want to dig into this a little bit. Silicon Valley in the San Francisco Bay Area is home of the world's most admired tech gurus, venture capitalists, and hugely successful startups, from Apple and Microsoft to Facebook and Netflix. But despite its innovative and creative minds, Silicon Valley remains one of the largest or one of the least religious parts of the country, with just 42% of adults saying they believe in God with absolute certainty. In this perceived wasteland of faith, a coalition of leaders from the faith, business, and tech communities are making a tremendous impact for Christ. Co-founded by VMware CEO Pat Gelsinger, Transforming the Bay with Christ is a nonprofit organization working to jumpstart a Jesus movement in the Bay Area that results in spiritual and social transformation. Headed by Nancy Ortberg, a former teacher at Willow Creek Community Church and a respected Christian voice on leadership and spirituality, the group mobilizes churches and Christ followers to make a difference through social compassion and services. A few years ago, Christian business leaders and pastors started to imagine what it would be like if we could start to help catalyze a holistic gospel movement in the Bay Area. And that's how TBC got started, Ortberg told the Christian Post. The Bay Area is very rich in resource and in diversity, with different people coming to the area from all over the world to be involved in careers that have shaped the world, she continued. The church then needs to show up in a significant way to influence these people and their lives and say there's more to life than this. There's a creator behind all this. It goes on and on, but it's backed by people like Francis Chan, John Ortberg, and Chip Ingram. Their strategy is to unify, amplify, and multiply. And it finishes off with your geography mandates your calling, she said. There's a huge need in the Bay Area, and TBC is working to mobilize not just pastors, but believers in arts and entertainment, businesses and government, and nonprofit and tech to come alongside their local communities and make the kingdom more tangible to people in the Bay Area and turn, draw them to Christ. All right. So, that's all we got for pictures, I believe. Now we're starting getting some good news. Israeli scientists claim to create a miracle drug that completely cures cancer. A team of Israeli scientists believes it may have found a cure of all cures to finally end cancer. We believe we will offer in a year's time a complete cure for cancer, said Dan Arador, chairman of the board of Accelerated Evolution Biotechnologies. Our cancer cure will be effective from day one, will last a duration of a few weeks, and will have no minimum side effects as much lower cost than most other treatments on the market. Aldor told the Jerusalem Post, our solution will be both generic and personal. The miracle drug is called Mutato, or multi-target toxin. Mutato acts as a cancer antibiotic and uses a combination of cancer-targeting peptides like amino acid chains and a toxin that specifically kills cancer cells. So if that comes out to be effective, then we're on a whole new level of cancer, and that's a blessing and a half. And of course, Israel, whether you like Israel or not, whether you support them or not, Israeli scientists have been on the ball and on top of things for a long time now. A lot of other countries, even the U.S., get a lot of our ideas and stuff from Israel. So if they feel they got something, then it could be something big. But we'll see. It has to go through, and we have to see it. I just pray that a lot of these medications come out, they feel that it's going to work, people start taking it, and we see major side effects because they're not properly tested. We don't know what the long run is going to happen. So it's a little thing on medications that we got to be skeptical of. But yes, if this is going to be effective and everything, then we have a whole new battle with cancer. And it looks like we're going to win that battle. Maybe. We'll see. The next one is what we'll put under. I only got 2. I had 5 for you. No, I had 4 for you. No, maybe I had 5 for you. Yeah, I did have 5 for you, but a couple of them didn't come out, so we'll just go over the 2. And man, I wanted these other ones. Maybe I can find them for you. Stand with me. So, first one is White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says God wanted Donald Trump to become president. This is part of You Call It. Don't jump on me. I know there's a lot of people that support President Trump, and I know there's a lot of people that don't. I'll read this for you. In a wide-ranging, exclusive interview with CBN News, the White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says that God wanted Donald Trump to become President of the United States. I think God calls all of us to fill different roles at different times, and I think that he wanted Donald Trump to become president. Sanders told CBN News chief political analyst David Brody and senior Washington correspondent Jennifer Wishon in her West Wing office Wednesday morning. That's why he's there, and I think he has done a tremendous job in supporting a lot of things that people of faith really care about, Sanders said. I will agree with that last part. Whether you like Donald Trump or you don't, he has really stood up for the Christian faith. He has. We moved to Jerusalem, the embassy in Jerusalem. We're starting to try to get Bibles back in schools. I mean, there's a lot of good things that are happening. A lot of people can say, is Donald Trump a Christian? It seems to be claimed he is. And if he is, I don't believe that, no matter how he was raised, I don't believe that he's been a Christian for long. I believe right around the presidency area, I believe that he probably accepted Christ. Maybe a little before that. We don't know. We truly do not know. But God can work through anybody when the time is needed. We've seen that in the Old Testament. We kind of understand it in the New Testament, especially with Saul, who became Paul. So, no matter your outlook on Donald Trump, at this point, through Christianity, he's done some pretty big things. So we have to respect him in that part. And we'll see how things go. And we'll see in 2020 who's running against him. But from the people I see running against him right now, I don't see anybody that would even help or keep going in the direction that we need to go. So it's a tough political call. I don't know what else to say. I know that everybody says you're not supposed to have church and the state in the same area, or the government and the state, or the government and the church in the same area, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But truly, the government has always been a part of God's story. The government, I mean, God used so many leaders to fulfill his purpose, to free his people, to do things that he needed done. So that is pretty much totally nonsense to me. If you want a church that ain't going to bring up politics, then you got a church ran by politics. That's my belief. Because a true church will tell you, this is the era that we're in. This is what we're looking at. And that's just my belief on that. I don't really say a whole lot on politics, but when the news comes up and we're discussing things, then I will put in my 2 cents. You don't have to like it. You don't have to abide by it. Just hear me out. And anybody has any other topics or questions or other things they want to add, you can always comment underneath this. We don't argue. We're not into all that kind of stuff, like most Facebook groups and stuff like that. We just express our opinions. Everybody can see the differences, and we move on. And that's just the way it should be. Everybody has a different idea of things. And just because maybe right now I'm a Trump supporter at the period of where I'm at and what he's done, not for who he is, but what he's done. And then I look at the people that's running against him and I see them and I'm like, well, I got to keep backing Trump. I mean, if there's somebody better than Trump coming along, then I'd probably jump off the Trump train, yeah. But at this point, I have to stay on it. And that's just my outlook on it. And I can give you many, many reasons for it, but a lot of people may not just support Trump at all. They may see something else somewhere else. And it doesn't mean that I'm better than you or you're better than me or that you know more or I know more. It's all about, coming together as one body of Christ and understanding where each person's perspective is. Everybody lives in different states and there's different problems in different states. Delaware is a Democratic state. In Delaware, we're not getting our foothold on much of anything. And as all the states put together ran underneath Donald Trump, we are seeing Bibles coming back to school. We've seen the embassy move to Jerusalem. We've seen a lot of good things. And that's where I got to stand my foundation on, is what's taking place. When we look at Hillary Clinton, none of that would have happened. Barack Obama talked about moving the embassy, but never got it done. Bill Clinton talked about moving the embassy and never got done. And then Trump comes in and things are moving. And that's what I have to say. So you may have a better insight than that. We're not going to argue, but I would love to hear from you. Because that's the way it should be. Less arguments and more just sharing our topics. So I'm going to get off this next one before I try to look for one. This other one, I don't know what it was. I don't want to get it wrong. Well, anyway, 332,757 abortions performed by Planned Parenthood last year from 2017-18 season. Highest number since 2011. It's a lot of abortions. 332,757. Can anybody say the doctrine of Baal? The sacrifice of children? We are seeing it in a lot more numbers than back then. But there's a Pennsylvania library, and I sure wish I had this up. But Pennsylvania library is hosting a drag queen contest or something. Let's see if I can bring this up real quick. Bear with me. I don't even know what this was under. Also, while I'm doing this, I'll give you insights of places that I usually grab my info from. Would be CBN News, the Christian Post, Christian News, websites in that order. I just kind of compile them all together in one broadcast. So they are all good sites. I'm definitely not taking anything off Facebook because we can't trust that. This is not the one. Oh, Pennsylvania Library to host Drag Queen Story Fun Time featuring man who goes by strange name Annie Christ. So Pennsylvania Library is hosting a Drag Queen Story Fun Time. And the guy that's going to be reading it is a stage name guy, Annie Christ. And that's going to be in Lansdale, PA. Let me see if I can find the other ones here. OBGYN's nurse speaks out against New York abortion law. It is never necessary to kill babies for health. Life of mother. Or life of mother. I'm not quite sure what that meant. And I think we're going to end it there because I'm not going to find the last one. Because I don't think it was in here. One last look. And that's all I got for you guys this week. Until next week, thank you for joining. Have a fantastic week. God bless. Oh, one more thing. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share this news with family and friends. And always submit to the Word of God. God bless.